What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? I have returned for another video, and this time it's regarding the University of Hawaii men's basketball team. The off-season has officially begun after UH chose to end their season following a 68-65 loss to UC Davis earlier this month in the Big West tournament, Hercules Tires Big West tournament in Henderson, Nevada. And already the offseason has gotten off to a pretty sad start. But before I get to that, folks, just remember, subscribe. That's how this channel grows. I want to keep my monetization status. I'm just a little bit off of 10,700 subscribers, and I want to keep it going. So maybe I can get to 10,800. Hopefully, I'll do that soon. So, anyway, guys, let's get into this. Okay, so I'm going to put up my banner here. That's right. UH men's basketball loses Mor Seck. And according to an Instagram post from Mor Seck himself, he has decided to enter the transfer portal. And that's a terrible loss and certainly one, and this is one loss. I know I've seen my fair share of guys decide to enter the portal, and I got to tell you, losing Mor Seck is something that I never would have guessed would happen. And that is a tough pill to swallow for sure. So UH is going to have to do some major Easter egg hunting for not only guys in their backcourt, but also their front court too. But you know what? We still have Harry Ruliadeff, and hopefully somehow Matias Vetozarevich will possibly get some meaningful court time and maybe pick up the slack that someone like Mor Seck would certainly have been giving them had he chosen to stay. Unfortunately, the little bit that I had read on Spectrum News, of course, with some of the other media, was that Mor Seck felt that he wasn't going anywhere, or his talent level wasn't going anywhere, and that he was back to where he was during freshman year. And he felt that he had no choice but to leave and switch schools. And, you know, like I said, that's a big disappointment. For someone of Mor Seck's caliber, there's going to be a lot of voids that aren't going to be filled with Seck departing, because Seck is a 7'1" center from Senegal, from somewhere in Senegal. Gosh, I can't remember the name. In Gayor Diane, Senegal. In Gayen Daour, Senegal, I believe that's what it's called. And you know what? UH has had one Senegal player before. That was way back in the mid-2000s, and his name was Ahmed Guy. And Guy was a really good inside player. And Mor Seck is a good inside player too. But the difference between Seck and Guy was that Seck could jump, was that Seck was really athletic and he could jump, he could dunk. Did Guy do that? Once in a while, but not as often as Mor Seck did. And that's why I call that a giant loss for the University of Hawaii men's basketball team, specifically their front court. Unfortunately, Mor Seck only played in 19 games this season until an ACL knee injury during practice just before the UC Santa Barbara game in late January would ultimately end his season. And Seck, he became a fan favorite. I just love watching that guy play, and you know, I just love it when he gets those really sweet slam dunks, whether it's over a guy, whether it's over a player, or if he's by himself. And I was looking for big things from Mor Seck next season. And, to see this happen to him really puts UH about 3 steps back when it comes to their front court. And while head coach Eran Ganot is still confident that this team will still move forward, I believe in him. But I really hope that this is a wake-up call for Ganot to really get the guys better in their designated areas where they know they got to get better in, or even make themselves better in their specific areas, whether you're a forward, a center, or a guard, or even the point guard position. And that's the most important one. That's the most important position on a basketball team. But I got to tell you, Mor Seck would certainly had the potential to lead the team to a victory next season because of how good he was getting. I thought he was really coming into his own as well, but obviously we won't be seeing Mor Seck in a UH uniform, and obviously him feeling that his talent wasn't going anywhere is pretty damning news. But still, it's a big loss for the University of Hawaii. I have to say that I was very much at a loss for words that happened, because did I think that Seck was going to transfer out? No, because I was looking on ESPN Honolulu's YouTube page, and Mor Seck even said himself that, hey, I'm an island boy. I like it here. And obviously, Mor Seck, he means what he says. And I got to tell you, to have someone like him to have someone like him just decide to say adios, that's a big stake to the heart for sure. And I know that Mor Seck himself had said that he didn't want to leave, but he felt he had no choice. And when someone like Mor Seck says that, you know for sure that maybe something is not being addressed with as far as his talent level is concerned. And as gut-wrenching as this is, I really hope that even though just to kind of reset that, as much of gut-wrenching as this news is, I really hope that Mor Seck somehow finds a change of heart and decides to stay here, because he has not given any idea or a solid answer of where he's going to end up. But of course, you also can't rule out that Seck could have a change of heart. And I really hope he does, because I think that he will be a good heir apparent had he chose, even if he decides to come back. Because there's going to be a lot of voices that aren't going to be filled unless Ganot finds a really good guy in the paint. Now, we got some voids that are being filled in the backcourt with guys like Aaron Hunkin-Clater and AJ Economou playing, and hopefully UH can pick up LeJay Jones. And but he has offers everywhere. I hope that he comes here. He would be a big pickup for sure. But as far as the front court's concerned, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been made aware of any pickups there. But of course, all coaches, they can't talk about the new faces or the new recruits. But like Ganot said before, every year you lose good players and you'll add good players. And I believe that he will find someone who's just as good as Mor Seck. I'm not saying that Mor Seck did a terrible job last season before his injury, but I thought that he played really, really good on the court. And just to see someone like him go, you can't help but feel like you can't help but feel like somebody in your, like, that's like finding out that somebody's dog passed away from natural causes or even from being shot by someone. Because that's kind of like what I'm feeling right now. You know, like somebody who had his dog killed or something like that. You know, it's really, it's really hard to hear of guys that decide to transfer out. But then again, the Big West is a conference that gets absolutely no love at all because they only take one person to the dance, and that's the winner of the tournament. In this case, it was Long Beach State that went to the tournament. And the three guys that Andy Katz, basketball analyst, thought would represent the Big West, UCSB, UC Irvine, and UH, all got bounced out in either the first or the second round, which is really disappointing when you think about it. But then again, in contrast, UH is probably what UH is going through right now, losing Mor Seck. Obviously, that's a lot of talent that's going away. But then again, other schools in the Big West have it worse. UC San Diego lost Bryce Pope and Francis Wakoria to the portal. Cal State Fullerton is losing Max Jones and Beryl Kabamba to the portal. Cal Poly is losing Kobe Sanders to the portal. And supposedly, their head coach, John Smith, got fired after Cal Poly went winless in Big West Conference play this season. They only won 4 games all season long, which is really terrible and which is really sad now that you think about it, because at one point, UH was 10th in conference, one position ahead of Cal Poly. Okay? And that was after starting out 2-6. But after that, they picked it up. And after UC San Diego, that win over them at home, they were a whole new team. And that was all with Mor Seck and Javon McClanahan on the sidelines. And of course, to add to the fold, and to add to the portal, before I get to that, just to add to the portal news, UC Riverside is losing Vladimir Salaridze as he's transferring out as well. And to add to the fold, this is what I was going to say earlier, to add to the fold, it's rumored that UC Santa Barbara is losing AJ Mitchell because he's drafting for the NBA. So you add all that up, the Big West is not immune to the transfer portal, and certainly UH is not immune to the transfer portal either, as I talked about earlier, with losing Mor Seck. And that's why I have a love-hate relationship with the portal. I love it because you pick up good guys, and I hate it because you lose good guys like Mor Seck. And last season, UH lost 4 guys to the portal. 2 guys in the backcourt, 2 guys in the front, 2 guys in the one of the walk-ons, and 1 guy in the front court. In the backcourt, it was Justice Jackson and Amor Olado. The front court was Beon Riley, and one of the walk-ons, Zor Ned, who really came into his own in 2022. And he was reminding me of Bobby Nash from 20 years ago. So, I don't know. I hope that we can find we got to find some answers. And obviously the offseason has certainly left us with a giant hill to climb. And I hope that we make it there. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. Remember, subscribe, and hopefully, and I want to wish Mor Seck all the best in the world. I really hope that he has a change of heart, although it is unlikely. But UH football, they lost Matt Shipley to the transfer portal and almost lost quarterback Braden Shager. And fortunately, Shager had a change of heart and decided to stay at UH. I don't know if Mor Seck's going to do the same thing, but you hope that he does. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Well, folks.